To take you through some of the progress that I've made in the past 24 hours that I've been playing this game. Um, as you can see, my character from last time has changed a bit. I've got a couple of new weapons, new armors, um, a couple of other accessories and so on. And I've also, if you can see, I've bumped the level up from normal to hard. So I was playing a public game in order to just change or get some more loot, but I will go back to a private game for this particular session. And I'll give you a quick overview in terms of what have we acquired so far and what exactly is in store and some of the cool things uh, that I did to sort of help increase my experience level. So while that, so while the game loads in the meantime, I think season 12 obviously seems to be really interesting. Some very interesting changes to some of the armors, some of the weapons, and some of the amulets and rings. Some good balances overall that have come across the board. But just to give you a quick overview in terms of what has changed from the last time, it was a pretty bare bones build. I don't think had too many items as such. But if you take a look at where I am now, there are a couple of things that really helped move this along. So one was, of course, better chest armor as well as shoulders and all of these good things. But I think what really changed for me, that really helped move things along, was I got um, the box fords. Is that how you pronounce it? This was very interesting because when there are three or more enemies that come near you, it releases a wild stench that deals about 520% weapon damage as poison every 5 seconds. So this is very interesting because then it's really critical when there is a significant number of enemies that are there. Very good for crowd control. So you can just walk into a crowd and this thing basically releases and does significant number of damage and reduces the number of folks that you actually have to kill. But as you can see that this was when I was at level 11. This sort of I got this, but if you can see, I am right now at level 36. So that's pretty good progression. In less than 24 hours. We're sort of halfway through level 70. So that's to put things into perspective, we're halfway there from a progression standpoint. From a seasonal standpoint, of course, I've only done 2 out of the 9 objectives, and we'll try and change up some of that now and see how far we can actually get. The other thing I got was also the Executioner two-handed axe, which again gave me significant amount of damage that I was able to walk through a lot of enemies and so on. But I think what changed for me also was this bit, the Rivera Dancer's shoes. Right now, this one basically gives me a 256% increased damage for lashing tail kick. That is over here. If you see this, the minute I hit 3, so that part, so he does this. This gives me 256% increased damage. So every time I do that. And what I had also got was the legendary uh, Daibo, which is called Balance, right? Now this increased the Tempest Rush by 540%. And when the three or fewer enemies, it gains 100% critical hit chance. So this again allowed me to rush through, all of the enemies that were there. In fact, the only reason it's not in my current equipped weapon of choice right now is because I've got this new one, which is I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm not going to try, probably butcher it. But this gives me a significant boost. If I compare the two of them, this is 76% dexterity, and this gives me 127% dexterity. That's a significant 50 points more, and of course reduces the resource cost as well. The previous one is reducing resource cost, but this one also gives me an increase in attack speed and also increases my maximum spirit. So these are some of the things that I really needed, but I think having this is still not going to be a bad uh, choice if we still had to run with it. There are a couple of other items that I got which I haven't necessarily explored, but I don't think I'll be actually using any of these. So let's just get rid of it to start with. Um, I don't need any of these items. Right. So what I also got was the See No Evil Legendary Spirit Stone. Again, doesn't necessarily do anything from a magic standpoint, but gives me better experience. And it allowed me to slot in a gemstone, a red gemstone over here. And the reason you want to slot a red gemstone in there is because the red gemstone gives you experience. So if you take a look at this, it gives me 10% experience 1% at level 70, but we're pretty far from that. Obviously, I can actually swap it out for this, which will give me 15% experience, and maybe I'll just do that. That'll sort of allow me to get in a little more. So I can just remove the gem here, and I can slot this in. Alright, that should give me 15% experience. That should be interesting. So I've not been able to necessarily go much faster than what I had been going so far, but I think I'm up to level 36. I've got the Templar as well, who I've hired. So let's try and see what are some of the objectives that we need to complete. Alright, if you go here, I think this is Control J if I'm not mistaken. It's a jump, or maybe it's just J, I don't know. I don't remember what the shortcut is. Alright, let's see. 5 gems into your gear. Alright, well I don't have gems with 5 sockets, so I'm not going to do that. Raise the blacksmith to level 10, which is okay. Jeweler to level 10. These can be done pretty quickly. Even the mistake also. So I need to kill Malthael, kill Azmodan, and reach level 50. So let's try and do either Azmodan or Malthael for now, and let's see where we end up. Alright, so just taking a chance. Let's see where we can do. Sidia, Siegebreaker, go. Oh, Azmodan. I don't have Azmodan here. Let's see if I can get Diablo. Malthael is not in Act 5. It is. It's in West March, I guess, right? Yeah. Alright, so I don't have any of those options at this point, but I think we can still do some of these. Let's just go and kill Adria and let's see, because I believe she is, I think, unlocked in some of the other in the next lot. So let's try and see if we can get to her as well pretty quickly. Into the Great Hall. That's not the direction. All right. Oh yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to also share with you guys is if I go to my skills, so I'm using Fist of Thunder. I'm using Static Charge because it basically gives me electric damage, or lightning damage as such. I'm using Tempest Rush. Tailwind gives me an increased boost in movement speed as I move forward. Breath of Heaven along with Blazing Wrath. So this allows me to have an increased level of damage whenever I use it. Exploding Palm. Well, I'm not necessarily going to be actually using a lot of Exploding Palm, but I guess it's just there for for the sake of things. Maybe I'll just go with Mystic Ally. I don't think it really makes a difference. I'm using Lashing Tail Kick because I have the Rivera Dancers, which gives me that increased damage. So I'm definitely going to have this, and going to be using Flame for that. So I think I'll stick to Sweeping Armada. So that's a better option. And I'm finally using the Mantra of Healing so that I can increase my life generation as we go forward. And if I look at the passive skills, I'm using Exalted Soul because I need a little bit extra spirit. 200 weapons increase spirit generation, so I need that. Seize the Initiative is something that I've just put in because I want to make sure that we're able to increase or deal out more damage to those enemies that are having a significantly higher amount of health. This unlocks at level 70, but we still sort of, we're 50% of the way there, so wouldn't be too rushed to get to that. See how powerful this is. I can just use Tail Kick and I'm done.
That ability is not yet recharged.
Let me see, try and get to the Great Hall. I'm not going to go through.
I don't have enough spirit. The wrath of
So I need to work on increasing my spirit generation.
Ita has raised me to new heights. Storm breaks.
Very, very effective damage control, crowd control to have.
Not enough spirit.
93 kills.
You are defeated.
"51 kills again." So this is pretty good. As you can see that it makes really destroying enemies pretty easy and quick. I don't need that, but I could use the whale crystals. Let's get to the Great Hall as quickly as possible so that we're not dealing with smaller stuff.
You are defeated.
Right. There's nothing here, so it means I need to probably go around.
Won't go down easily.
Frozen.
Your strength fails.
100 kills. Can we go more? Yes.
A vicious strike. I must wait to use that ability.
This is pretty impressive. 113 kills. This is pretty impressive. Really do a good amount of experience boost. Alright, let's try and get to the Great Hall as quickly as possible. Let me try and stack up on my spirit because I'm going to need all of that when I get to face Adria. The build itself, without really using any of the additional skills, does significant amount of damage, so which is pretty impressive in itself. 2x experience, so that's again very, very helpful. I think we're getting pretty close. Just give me some amount of money. Oh, okay, look at this big guy, it's come here.
Beneath the endless tide.
Well, the thing is, as you continue to go higher, is only when you actually start getting some better material and equipment. Gems get better as you go higher, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
The history of a race called the Nephilim, gods by another name, and their ruined civilization in the
That
West.
ability is not yet
If this
recharged.
is true, how could all signs of the Nephilim be lost? But for the record of this singular poem.
This gives me a 1.5 experience. Not too worried about that. Oh no, this looks like a dead end over here. Alright, gotta backtrack quite a bit. Alright, let's see how far out we are. Oh, we're pretty far out. Alright. Let's just keep going. I think what's interesting about the monk class particularly is that it gives you such a good balance between speed and strength. These guys are built like tanks, but they move like assassins. So, that combination for me is what makes me choose the monk class over anybody else. The other class that I really enjoyed actually playing with was actually the new Necromancer class. I thought that was also quite good. The good thing about the Necromancer class is, again, it plays two ways, right? So you can build it to work like a tank, or you can actually build it to work, in a more discreet manner. So you can either become like somebody who commands the dead, or you can just become like a dead man walker. So if you want a tank class character, I think it doesn't get better than the barbarian, in my opinion. So a lot of them I know swear by the Crusader, but I think the barbarian is really the guy who owns the tank classes quite literally. Alright, we're here. We're gonna face Adria now. I believe it should be. Yes.
That ability is not yet designed. I need spirit.
Alright, trying to build up some spirit.
I must wait to use that ability.
She has these things. I don't know whether these things don't actually do any damage, but because all the lashing takes keep falling.
Are you really so angry because of me? What a waste!
Not enough spirit. It is not ready yet. I don't have enough spirit.
She's almost gone.
Fire consumes.
And a little bit more.
I need spirit.
Diablo will return. I have done what I can to ensure it. He always finds a way. In your heart of hearts.
Well, interestingly, this didn't really give me any rewards, so maybe there's really nothing there from Atria. Alright, let's see who else is there on that list to finish up. Alright, anything interesting that came by? Oh, this looks good. Alright, so that gets swapped. Pants. Well, this is pretty interesting, but let's say I did this. Deadly reach, no, not much of a difference. No, I don't think that's going to change. I'm going to swap that out definitely. Well, all of these would definitely add up if I do change them, but you know what? I'm not going to do it. Let me just knock this off. Alright, let's just dump all of these gems in. As you can see, all of my other stashes are all empty. I'm trying to basically maximize. I'm trying to maximize my inventory space for this particular season. I have a tendency to basically collect pretty much everything that's out there, but start realizing that there's no point. After a period of time, I need to sooner or later get rid of them. So I can actually get rid of this. Don't need it, so keep this. And let me have this Diablo there. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this game and I'm going to come back to let it regenerate the map again and see whether we can get Malthael or I don't remember who the other one was. Alright, let's see who this was. Malthael or Azmodan, yes. Alright, this is Azmodan's layer, so no. No. Oh, Azmodan's not there, alright. So let's go to West March. No, it's not there. Well, I don't know whether we can do this, but well, the only challenge is that We could try. I mean, let's just give it a shot. Let's see where this goes and see if we can get to Malthael without. The only challenge I have with all of these things. I think I need to go this way.
I must wait to use that ability.
There's no way out here. Well, let me tell you this, right? If you haven't played the story mode in Diablo, you should play it because the story itself is fantastic, and the build up to this in Act 4, I think it's definitely one of the better storylines I've seen from the Diablo franchise. A lot of them have asked me which one, you know, story-wise, which one's really better. Is it Diablo 2, Diablo 3? It's really hard to say. I personally like the story that was there in Diablo 1. I mean, I think that really helped build up the franchise for me. But they're all very compelling storylines, both in Diablo 2 as well as Diablo 3. I think Diablo 2, I think takes the cake because it has a much more extended storyline, a lot more questions that were left unanswered, which doesn't necessarily make for a good storyline, but I'm just saying that it just gave you a lot to think about. And then the expansion pack which came out was also really, really good. So from that perspective, I think for me Diablo 2 had a much better storyline overall compared to Diablo 3. Alright. We close. And this is all if memory serves me right, in the right way to do it. I don't obviously remember. The problem for a monk using two-handed weapons is that it slows down his attack speed significantly. Somehow, that I got there. Let's just see what races it is. Oh, this is I think for a witch doctor. I mean, I think it's for a. Oh, this is interesting. Caesar's Memento, cold skills 6 damage, 120% dexterity, critical. Okay, enemies take 693% increased damage from your Tempest Rush. Alright. For 5 seconds after you hit them with a blind, freeze or stun. Alright, so there's complications to this. So there is a second level add-on to this bit, which is still not too bad because it still gives me overall increased damage stats. So I think I'll definitely go with that. And might need to modify up alright, I think I should use this. What is that? When you hit them with a blind, freeze or stun. So I think even that would work in that case. Lightning damage, okay. Cold damage, okay. Let me use that. Let me see if there's flurry. Tailwind. Okay, let me use that. Lashing tail kick. Okay, use the Scorpion Sting. Circle of Life. Alright, I don't think there's anything else I can do there. But let's see what we can get out of this. There are 2 chests. Let me see if anything useful comes out of this. Nope. Getting closer to this is an insane amount of damage.
Wait to use that ability.
So basically what it does is that, you know, the Diabo itself, the lashing, I don't have that equipped, but if I was using this, I'm thinking that this would give me significant more damage because this already does 540 and then add to that another 600, so provide this stun. But let me see whether this helps. It's brought down my damage. Oh no, okay. It's probably a bit risky to try it out here. But, alright, let's just give it a shot. You know, at the very worst, we're gonna die and come back and try again. So shouldn't be too bad. Alright, hopefully we can battle Malthael here. Let's see where this goes. There we go. Look at the damage it's doing. This is incredible actually. Oh, this is insane. All we do is knock him out a couple of times. And then look at the damage on this. Insane. Unbelievable. Oh, I think this combination is brilliant. I don't think I've ever finished Malthael this fast. Ever. So you're seeing what this combination does, right? So basically, I give him the old 1-2 punch, and because I have Fists of Thunder with the Wind Blast, so it sort of so every third hit basically freezes him. So when he's frozen, I can use my the Tempest Rush. So the Tempest Rush already gives me a 540% damage, and when an enemy is frozen, it gives me a 693% damage. Now I don't know whether it's, you know, it's adding to that, you know, on top of this, but apparently I think it looks like it. So that's an insane amount of damage that you can actually do with this combination. So which makes me think that I should definitely have this, the Poison Pants, forgot what they were called, and Caesar's Memento in my Kenai's Cube when I am able to get that thing going. Alright. So we've done 3 out of 9, which means the other bit to do is Azmodan. Alright, let's try and see whether we can get to him. Azmodan is Bastion's Keep. I don't remember how to get to Azmodan, and that's the problem. Look at that insane amount of damage this thing is doing. Though I don't do significant damage just from that, but look at this. I'm just rushing through this, just rushing through these guys. Like a hot knife through butter.
That ability is not yet.
Look at that. Look at that. I just don't even need to do anything. I just rush through them. Flawless. I think this makes sense for me to try and increase the difficulty level after this. Wow. What a great combination it's turning out to be.
A well-deserved death.
It is not ready yet.
Your flaws are revealed.
He's immune to it, but it doesn't really matter because the amount of damage this thing is doing is incredible.
I must wait to use that ability.
Look at that, just run through it. Crazy. Alright, I think this is where I face off with Azmodan, if I'm not mistaken. I'm high on Nephilim glory, but I meet him here. Oh yeah, there he is. Look at that, look at the damage. Look at that, insane. You, my man. The best combination that I've got so far. I don't think this gives me any rewards as of now, but well, I don't really care at this point. Okay, there's no chest here. Well, let me go back to the bastions. Keep. So you guys are seeing the amount of damage this combination can do, right? It's absolutely incredible. It's insane that this combination is actually working so well at this right now, and I can only imagine if I get a better one, I should be able to do some pretty serious damage without using any of my special powers. But I mean, you take a look at this one also, right? I mean, currently if I equip it over my current staff, it still gives me a 70% increase in damage, right? So I'm at 905, that'll take me to like about 1500, like literally doubles it, right? But then do I go with that, or do I go with the 540% increased Tempest Rush damage that this gives me, and an enhanced further 693% increased damage when they are frozen, blind, frozen, or stunned, right? Either one. Alright, let's see what else have I got. So I've got a new belt, which doesn't help me too much. Oh, this is interesting. So it's a rare staff, which gives me 207 increased damage. Wow. It's a two-hand staff again, and again, this is a rare mace, which gives me about... But again, compared to the combination that I have, I think I will just keep this for now in case I need to look at it at a later point. No, these... The fist weapon is again interesting. I can always use these to upgrade them to rares later. I think a combination of this plus the fist weapon, I think we're talking some serious amount of damage again over there. Might be worth just trying it out. So I can add a socket. This has a socket here, so I can add a 1800, and if I do this here, 1300. Okay, it's actually not a lot. So. Alright, I'm gonna move that back out there. I'm gonna keep this back here because I don't think I'll be using it. Keep this again. I'm not gonna definitely change the boots because the lashing tail kick is pretty impressive. Got a rare amulet which gives me recovery. Bullet damage. Dexterity. So if I do that here, that can still give me some damage, right? It reduces my, but it's less than 1%, so I'm not too bothered. Alright. Yeah, so it takes me well over 1000, which is cool. Alright, I think the rest of them are quite salvageable at this point, so let me just get rid of them. So I've also socketed 5 gems, so I've cleared even that. I don't need this. So let's train him. If I'm not mistaken... What do you know? I don't have enough money to do that. Alright, so... Well, I guess I gotta keep playing and, see where that lands. Let me continue for anything over here. Alright, let's look at what's pending at this point. So I've completed 5 out of the 9 objectives. So I need to raise the blacksmith, I need money for that, I need money for this, I need money for that, so that I'm not gonna do that. So I need to hit level 50. Now one of the easiest ways to do that is let's do a Nephilim Rift and see how quickly we can cross this. And then let's see whether we can get
Such
some
a
goodies
brave
from
soul.
Kadala as well later. Alright.
Embrace your power.
I need to start collecting some gold. I've been ignoring gold for the most part of it because I think once you reach, a certain level in the game, you don't really bother too much about the gold as such. It's all there in abundance, but at this point, I think definitely makes sense to hoard some of them.
These enemies defy all reason.
Alright, there's a protection shrine there. Oh, there's a shield pile. Interesting. Another pylon. Another shield pylon. Do I take this?
Feel the wrath of Yitar.
My gold pickup radius seems to be pretty poor.
That ability is not yet recharged. It is not ready yet.
Alright, let's look for more yellows and blues.
Your strength fails.
Because that's the only thing that's going to help us complete this trip. I feel I need to be picking up more gold. Let's see. Let's go up to the next.
Storm breaks.
It's a long way to go from finishing up this trip. Sort of halfway there. So if you haven't had a chance to ever play the monk class, or if you ever played for this off, I
Beneath
think
the endless
in
tide.
my view this guy is one of the best classes in the game.
Is not yet recharged.
Great balance and okay. So I unlocked a new passive skill.
Feel the wrath of Yitar.
We're sort of nearing the halfway mark, close to 40% of this point. always very helpful. Gain experiences. Yeah, experience is what's going to push you on to the next. Alright, this should be interesting with the power pylon. Incredible amount of strength that you can run through people again. Alright, let's see how quickly we can finish this. We're sort of halfway there at this point.
The gods strike through me! I must wait to use that ability. It is not ready yet.
So we reached level 40, another 20 more, 30 more levels to go.
Ha! A vicious strike! I don't have enough spirit.
So officially our spirit, I need your help. I need to regenerate some of these things, avoid using any powers at this point. Very interesting. So my third shield pylon, I've never gotten that many shield pylons in a single game. I've never got any kind of pylon from the same kind in any single game.
Your strength fails! I must wait to use that ability.
Alright, let's see where this is.
Break beneath the endless tide!
Take us back in circles. Alright, let's head up towards the north and see. If we can find some creatures here. Oh yeah, there's some. We need to get to the blues and yellows as quickly as possible because these are the ones that actually give us tokens.
It is not ready yet.
Oh wow, Student of Mirage number 4. So we're at 88%, just 12% more to go. I think if I can get about 3 or more of these, I should be done. Maybe one more elite and I should be able to get to the Rift Guardian in that case. Ah, here we are.
The Rift Guardian has found you.
Alright, yeah. Get that amount of damage this thing does. better. Let's see if you want to go a little further. Okay. So she won't give us anything much, but collect as much gold as possible. Alright, so I'm gonna pause at this, return back to camp, so to speak, and then
Your valor is unsurpassed. My understanding grows.
alright, we hit level 41 now. This is good. So which means we have about 29 more levels to hit. Then I think with this combination we should be here up pretty well. Alright, let's see what loot we got out of this. Now we're starting to get the square diamonds, which is pretty good actually, or the square gems, which is pretty good. No change here, no change. This will help my Templar, so I will definitely put this into him. Intelligence. Alright, I'll just stop him on for now.
Fine choice.
No sense. The spear again. This is interesting because, but it doesn't necessarily do anything, so I'm gonna pass on that. Alright, let's just get rid of all of these things. Alright, that's about 20 more levels to go, but now let's look at what are the new skills that have been unlocked. So, Way of 100 Fists, which I don't necessarily use, but Fist of Thunder gives me a static charge, but I want to stick with this because it helps with the application of the Diablo there. Breath of Heaven, no change. Water Ally. This should be interesting. Let me use Water Ally instead of Fire Ally. Didn't realize that. Mantra of Healing. Alright guys. So I'm going to stop at this for now, and as always, please feel free to subscribe to our channel, leave your thoughts, comments on the videos. Can you stay tuned for day 3 and we'll sort of go from there. But thank you again for watching, and again, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, leave your thoughts and comments. You guys have a good rest of your day, and if you all don't see me again, have a good weekend.